Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Later, I'll do a Frank Friday post. But right now, I'm going to say Happy Friday, not Frank Friday, because I'm really not awake. I think I could have slept the whole entire day. Just now, I did not want to wake up. I was sleeping so good, but one must wake up and do conscious coffee, right? Sat here just trying to gather what thoughts are coming in this morning, because my coffee pot did not bless me with a very good message. Actually, I just don't think that I was awake enough to hear any message. And I was just sitting here with my eyes closed, listening to the birds chirp and listen to everything, and really just trying to figure out what the message was. But you know, what was the message I was hearing in my head for today? And I just came to this place of stillness just now inside myself, which I almost fell asleep after I got to that stillness. But listening to the birds, listening to the chirping and the songs, and there's probably like 3 or 4 different birds that I can hear right now off in the distance, and they're really just, singing their songs right straight from their heart. They're just doing their thing, doing their little birdie thing. And this new backyard of mine, it's probably because of the park. I have this humongous park really, really close by that's just basically walking distance at the end of my street. And I've always had a lot of like little local wildlife that bounces around through the neighborhood, and you get your birds and you get your squirrels, and sometimes other little critters and stuff that come through. But this particular house is definitely blessed with a massive amount of different birds. I have sat here and I have seen beautiful blue jays come in, and cardinals, and then of course you got your mockingbirds and your blackbirds and your crows, that kind of stuff, and little robins and everything. But there's more blue jays and cardinals than I can even speak of. And then there is this hawk that comes down and lands on this tree over here on the other side of my neighbor's property. And it's just really, it is like a humongous hawk. So I guess the reason why I'm sharing this, number one, you always start a video with a little bit of bleep to give time for people to get in and everything, and for me to wake up. But the birds, they sing from their hearts. They really do. There is no, right at your singing from a script. There is no questioning of the how-tos of life. They just really just come from this heart space and go by instinct, right? And that's what birds do. And their songs are always beautiful, and their songs are always sweet. And if you're in a bad mood, at least for me, when I come out here in the backyard, and if I'm just kind of stuck in ego a little bit, and come and I can just close my eyes and sit, and I can listen to the birds chatter and the different sounds and noises that nature does bring in, from the wind blowing in the breeze or what have you. And it's just all perfect. It's all perfect. So this morning's topic is to really live from your heart, to come at things from your heart. Just come from the heart. And the birds definitely have inspired the topic. So when we come from that space of the heart, we're not looking for the how-tos. We're not looking for the systems of mankind that create a structure that tell us how to do things. And we're not looking at the, well, it's this time, so I need to do this, then it's this time, so I need to do that. We're not questioning. We're not asking for permission from our friends or family or neighbors or other. We're just living from that heart space. And to live from the heart space is much like to be like the birds, to let your song flow naturally, to just let your song flow without question. And that song for each of us is so different and yet so beautiful. And we have multiple songs, right? Because we have all these different things in life that we're going through and different things that we're doing and experiencing, and we just need to let that song come out of us. And we captivate it through different messages, but those messages, they don't have to necessarily be any particular thing. You know, as a coach in today's world of coaching for me, used to be really focused on sexuality and relationship. Then up until this year, I was definitely, I would say 80% of my coaching was focused around that on the front side. And as I worked with people, the sexuality and the relationship piece, we would get some things structured around that and move forward. But what everybody has always come back to that I'm coaching with, and this is like almost every single person, there's a rare person that does not come back to this in some way. And that is that I end up coaching people how to quite literally live from that heart space, to really connect and align to themselves so that they can answer whatever the questions are that they need answered. Because I can have an opinion, I can guide where, when asked, what should I do here or what's going on there, I can give all these different prompts and suggestions and reach into my Mary Poppins bag of coaching, and I can share everything possible in there. And I got some cool shit in my Mary Poppins bag, but at the end of the day, what any one of us has to do is just reach into our own Mary Poppins bag, which is right here in our hearts, and really just get in there, feel it, allow ourselves to push into it, to lean into it, to experience, to surrender to that heart space, and then go, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? And that's where that inspired action comes from. That's where that inspired words, inspired thought, inspired everything comes from, is by getting into alignment to the heart space, and through that heart space, getting in alignment to God. And that's how we know this is what I'm supposed to do. But what do we do on it? What do we do? What do we do every single day? What are you doing right now? What are you going to be doing in 5 minutes from now? In an hour from now? You're probably going to be looking for the how-tos. You're probably going to be looking at the shoulds and the coulds and the woulds, and really questioning all this different stuff. Instead of taking just 5 to 10 minutes to align to yourself and to really get in here and feel what is needed, you're probably going to just experience all this other stuff and be misguided to go and do something other than what is needed, what needs to happen, what should be coming around. So, you want to know how to have a fuck yes life? You want to know what your next step is? You want to know how you can build that amazing business that you want to build? You want to know how to pull in or have this incredible relationship that you want? You want to know how to do anything that anything is? Outside of other practices I've shared through Conscious Coffee and teachings, the very first step, uno, right? The very first one is to get into alignment to here, to really get into your motherfucking heart. That's quite literally what has to happen. You have to get into your heart so that you can feel who you are and really go into that depth. If you're scared of touching into your heart, if you're scared of witnessing what is actually in there, then you really need to go into your heart. You really need to push in there. You really need to experience those feelings. And, you could say, well, I'm not scared of going into my heart. I'm not scared of feeling what's there. Are you living from your heart? Would you say that your world is an example of the message, the feelings, the connections that your heart has? Is your world really truly everything that your heart desires? Is there truly this feeling of coming from the sense of vulnerability right here? Or is your world, your space, the things that you're doing coming more from a logical, a mental, a structured, a conditioned format? Is it set up where, I could literally see the cookie cutter pattern if I went from your place to your neighbor, to your neighbor, to your neighbor, and in that thinking I see all the stuff that is in so alignment with everybody else's stuff, and then look back at your space and go, so where's your heart? If we're not living from our heart, we're probably questioning why we're not happy. So if you're not happy, okay, if you're not happy with something, the first place to look is your heart. I'm going to pull like a Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz thing here. I don't know. Everybody should have watched Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, right? Everybody should have watched the Wizard of Oz. At least any adult should definitely know the Wizard of Oz. So think back to 1938, I believe, when the Wizard of Oz was created, or maybe it was 39. I don't remember. Anyways, Dorothy, she's a little farm girl, right? And she gets picked up by the tornado and hauled off to Munchkin Land and hauled off to the beautiful world of Oz, and she's got to figure out her shit, and she's got to meet some things, and she's got to overcome the witch, the evil of the land, and she's got to explore and expand and connect and make new friends and do all these things. And then she goes to the beautiful Emerald City, and she gets all dolled up and bizzazzed up, and she meets the great and mysterious Oz, the Wizard of Oz, who, after her meeting, she's terrified of him because he's so big, he's so this, he's so that. And the reality comes out that he's just a man behind a curtain operating a machine. There is no fancy magical stuff. There is nothing like that. And what is his message to her? What is his message to her? The great and mysterious, magical, powerful Wizard of Oz tells her that everything is basically inside of her. That she didn't need to go any further than this space. And her grand realization as she's tapping her ruby red slippers is that there's no place like home. And that she need not go any further than her own backyard. Because when she wakes and she's back in Kansas and she's in her bed and her Auntie Em is there and everybody's like, oh my goodness, we were so worried about you because she got hit on the head, right? And she's laying there and her message is, I learned that I didn't need to go any further than my own backyard. Well, that's the case for any of us. That is truly, truly the case for any of us. It is not meaning that we don't need to go any further than our own physical backyard. No, we need to go, we need to do, we need to live, we need to experience, we need to have all of this. But that backyard that Dorothy is talking about is the heart. It's the motherfucking heart of things. The message that the great mysterious Oz has for us. The message that the Wizard of Oz really truly wants us to know is that there is no place like home. There is truly no place like home. We can say that that is like the physicalness of that there is no place like home, like our physical residence, the place that we call home, right? Those four walls that you reside in, those four walls that you come back to consistently. We could say that there's no place like home because of our family, our friends, those people that we are witnessed by, that we are connected with, that we can really, really get in there and just be with, or so we feel like we can just be with, right? Because a house isn't a home. We make a home. People in our life don't mean that they're our home. We make a home. We make a home in every single way because we are bringing into these physical spaces, including physical relationship, that feeling of home through our connection. That's what we're doing. It's just through our connection. And what are we truly saying in that? We're saying that we are connecting to our heart space. That is it. We're just connecting to our heart space. And that home, that backyard that Dorothy went looking for and met all these strange and unique people and had all these experiences for, so that she could search it out and find it, to just come to the realization that she never was without it. She was never without it. It was always there for her. It's all about the heart. It's all about the heart. If you're looking for any how-to, if you're looking for any way to do something, to experience something, to make something better, to call something in, to connect to other people in some way, are you trying to, like, all these different things that we do to reorchestrate our lives to fit into the lives of the people that we want to be with, that we love, to try to fit into the world the best way, to create this or that, to have more, to experience more, to do this, to be perceived in such and such a way? All those things typically are not coming from the heart space. It is our heart at the back of it that is screaming, I want connection. I want you to come home. 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 And what do? We go into the mind and we try to fix it. We try to fix it and we try to logically get through something to come up with a solution. But that's not coming from the heart. And often our heart will speak a language that is foreign to us and scares the shit out of us and makes us go, holy fuck, I can't do that. That's not logical. That's not this, not that. That's not that. What will people think? How will I survive it? That heart space, though, is your alignment to your soul, alignment to God. To tap into the heart means to truly receive divine guidance. Let me take a sip. I was going to say something. Let me take a sip of coffee. Last night I went to 8 o'clock coffee with a minister friend of mine who I had reached out to for counseling for myself, to go through, just to try to get a little bit more clarity around my current situations, the things that life has presented me, the things that has come up over the last month. To be witnessed by somebody that I trust, and that I know that could hold space, and to hear my heart, to hear my worries, my fears, my concerns, to hear what's coming up for me, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, the everything. And I love this minister friend. He's so calm and always has a smile on his face. He's just one of those guys that you can't help but just really like. And I'm sitting there talking to him and sharing with him everything. And his message to me as he sat there and just kind of went, he just did this nod. And he kept his hands open. And his stance to me was very open. very open, very receiving, very non-judgmental, just holding space, just having an open heart. He wasn't trying to fix my scenario. He wasn't even trying to necessarily guide me in any particular way. He was just witnessing and holding space. And he said a whole bunch of things over the 2 hours that we chatted. But the things that really struck me, that I wouldn't say that I had any like grand realizations, or God did not drop all of a sudden a manual out of the sky onto our table for me and say, here, Kendal, this is your next move. This is what you need to do. This is how you get through your current challenges. This is how you heal. This is how you heal your heart. This is how you heal your body. This is how you work through your emotions. This is how you do this. No, nothing grand and miraculous like that happened. There was no dropping of a guidance system for me, because God had already dropped that guidance system long ago into my life. Same guidance system that you have. Same guidance system that every single person on this planet has. And this friend of mine, he gave me some biblical quotes, and we spoke about the Bible, and we spoke about base religions, and how at the core of the 6 base religions, and as you go back through everything, that everything always comes back to love. Everything always comes back to love. Jesus' teachings, Buddha's teachings, everything comes back to love. And when you hear the word love, what do you instantaneously think of? Think of your heart, right? When people click the little love button here on Facebook, and what comes up? A little red heart. You know, I love seeing little red hearts come across the screen. I love giving people these little red hearts for support. But the heart is what we think about. And that's what he really had to share with me in his openness and his witnessing to me, was to stay in my heart. To stay in my heart. To not feel pushed to do this or to be that or to have that, or to do anything particular. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Steve. But to stay in the heart, to really, truly feel into that space and not question it. Because that's where home was. That's where God was. That's where the manual was. And when I was looking for the manual to just quite literally magically drop out of the sky, I went and met with my minister friend in hopes that he had some passage to God that would literally be like, beep, 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 and Amazon Prime drops, boom, boom, there's your manual. Here's what you're going to do. Yeah, that did not work. Amazon Prime doesn't have any one of our life manuals to just drop down and be delivered in the next 24 hours, right? That would be nice. If we really need the physicalness of it. We don't have to wait 24 hours. We don't have to order up. We don't have to do this or do that. Just have to go into silence, go into stillness, and not be afraid to feel into that heart space, to feel into the wounds, to feel into exactly what we need to be feeling, to feel the message, to feel God's presence in our life. So many people don't believe in this thing called God, right? And it's because we look at it and we go, okay, well, you know, like even my buddy last night, he's like, we put Brad Pitt's face on God, we put so and so's face on God, and we want to believe this, and we, you know, like we have demons are ugly and angels are pretty and this and that, and it's just like quite literally like we're creating our own little Wizard of Oz through that. And so it makes it where we kind of start thinking about the spiritual realm like this anyway. And that's not what it is. I mean, to simplify everything, we can say there's light and there's dark. There's good and there is bad. one can really not exist without the other. At least for us humans in our current state, because we need the polarity. We really do. We need that polarity, and we cannot really fully appreciate and experience the good without having the bad come to us, because in moments of pain, in moments of trauma and drama and questioning, we get to experience this other side of things, and in there we can actually really truly build our faith. Because as we move through something, and if we do it from that heart space, our faith grows. We become more connected. We become more guided. We become so stinking. I'm just reading a comment. Sleepy, yes, because I've been awake as long as Conscious Coffee has been going. That's it. I got up and I made coffee and I came out here. I'm always sleeping during Conscious Coffee. Always, 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 because I'm not up for hours before Conscious Coffee. I haven't showered. I haven't brushed my teeth. I haven't done anything like that. So yeah, still sleepy. You nailed it. But sleepy or not, I can tell you that getting into that heart space is always accessible to us. It is always right there. It is always in this space of, and we go to the chest, right, where our physical heart is. But it's not about the physical heart. It's about the emotional heart. It's about the spiritual heart. That's what it is. It's about feeling into your truth, about feeling into who you really are, and those connector pieces to God. What is God's message for your day? What is God's message for your life? What do you need to do to really tap in and experience yourself? There's your how-tos. There's your guidance system. There's the manual. There's the best book on the face of the planet, the best movie to watch, the best album to listen to. It's called your heart. It's called your motherfucking heart. And just tap in and listen to it. Don't be scared to get vulnerable with yourself. Don't be scared to completely reveal. Like, just strip all the layers. Be naked with yourself in every single way. And that means to drop the guards that you're holding around your heart with yourself. Because we guard our heart from everybody, including ourselves. We really guard our heart from ourselves because we're so fucking scared of feeling what's there. We're so fucking scared of feeling what's there. Because if we really truly feel what's there, guess what's going to happen? Shit's going to change. Transformation will happen. We will go into a completion cycle. We will force ourselves to take the trash out that we've been carrying around as some bag of, just very valuable trinkets. And we're going to realize that shit is just shit, and that it needs to be dumped. It needs to be released. It needs to be let go of. So I'm coming down to a close here. But I just had this message pop in. Lately, the last week, I believe in angels big time. And I always feel like my angels are always around me, guiding me. And I have like conversations with my angels. I argue with my angels. I do all this different stuff. I get very animated speaking to my angels, you could say. And one of the ways that I feel called to, I'm a subscriber to Doreen Virtue's angel numbers and angel number therapy, and understanding, the messages and what numbers are always appearing to me. And I get a lot of 44s and 444s, which is definitely the angels are around you. They're supporting you. They're loving you. You've got divine guidance. And I have like a massive of 44s and 444s come to me. And the other number that comes in a lot is 77 and 777, which is basically like you got the Midas touch. You're completely on the right path. Go, go, go. And it's just such a powerful, strong abundance number and everything. And that supportive number. But lately, before all my changes happened, 555 was popping up, which is all about massive change, and that it's all in how we perceive it. And, it can be good or it can be bad. It's about our perception of those changes. So that's 555. And I had a lot of that coming on. And then I end up having all this massive change in my life, and I try to just sail through it the best I can and process things out and allow enough healing and all this good stuff. And then all of a sudden 55 keeps popping up in my life, and I'm like, oh, how much more change? I don't want any more like massive change. I'm like, my whole world just got flipped upside down and inside out, and everything has changed on me. So please Lord, no more massive change for right now. I need a breather. But the message of 55 is, yes, there's some change in there, but the true message is that my angels are telling me to let go of the past and to let in the new and to just receive. To let in the newness of what my heart is wanting, the new guidance that's around there, and to really receive the guidance that is out there in the world and my life and coming to me through the messages of my heart. I think that that's a message that we all need to hear. Let go of the old, open up to the new, receive the messages that are around you, open to them. And you open to them by going to your heart. You open to them by becoming naked with yourself, by becoming deeply vulnerable with yourself, by just really surrendering to that deep, beautiful, scary as hell space within you. Go there. Receive those messages. Love yourself. You are worthy. You are worthy for greatness. You are worthy for abundance. You are worthy for love. You're worthy. We're all worthy. Okay, guys. You're worthy. So with that note of worthiness, love, going into the heart, finding all of that, really truly feeling into that heart space, to feel what feels good to you, what feels aligned to you, what, if you're not happy, why? Ask yourself that. Why am I not happy? I have an article on my website called The Virus Question. And the virus question is all about asking yourself, why am I not happy? Why am I not happy? And that is the question. That is a virus question, because when we say, why am I not happy? We're actually asking to go to a deeper level of understanding with ourselves. We're actually asking to really get to the truth and to figure our shit out. And then the next question is, if I'm not happy, what would make me happy, right? What would make me happy? So I want you to question that right there today. I want you to journal in. If you want a journal prompt for this Friday, ask yourself, why am I not happy? What would it be like if I didn't have those thoughts and feelings that are bringing me no happiness? What would my life be like if I actually just opened up to my heart and really truly tapped into that and experienced my own joy, my own bliss, that own orgasmic living? What would it be like? And as always, stop existing and start living. Go have a fucking amazing Friday, guys. Go have an amazing Friday. Go into your weekend. Have an amazing weekend. There's no Conscious Coffee on the weekends. I'll catch you in some other way. I'm going to be making an announcement video later today or tomorrow about local workshops. So if you're local, make sure that you check back and catch that little bleep that I'm going to be putting out for our local female empowerment sexuality class that we have coming up next, not this weekend, but next weekend. But there's always, I'm going to be touching base in lots of different ways. So definitely just touch base on all of that stuff. Get the journal prompts answered. Lean into your heart. Stop existing. Start living. Honor yourself. And I'll catch you guys Monday morning for Conscious Coffee. Bye, everybody.